James Hale Show.
Do you know who I am?
Live and local inside the J. Michael Studio.
People know me.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
Hot tub! I'm full of water. I'm the hot tub. Woo! Wake him up, Coach. No! I'm gonna make it wet. The hot tub. Yeah. Rubber dub in the hot tub. Rubber dub in the hot tub. Hey! Still in the hot tub. Yeah! Really make me sweat. Yeah! Still in the hot tub. Yeah! Really make me wet. Yeah! Well. Jeff Patton stuck in the hot tub on the bridge. He's on his way. He's on his way.
I mean, if you're out on 390, all those construction barrels are everywhere. So,
I bet.
Wow. How bad was it driving in this morning, Wildcat?
well, you know, it was still dark and the storm was still coming, and there are branches and stuff on the road. But the water puddling on the roads, those big trucks, the dump trucks and stuff, they just drive right through it and blind you. But
yeah,
you'd hit those puddles of water. And I went sideways a couple of times.
Yeah. God bless you. I'm glad you got here. Glenn, how bad was it over there in that mansion you got?
Well, it was raining sideways for a while, and then, the wind came, but watch out. Yeah. But it
wider.
It's okay, yeah.
Open wider.
You guys.
It wasn't that bad, your place, you said.
I mean, it rained, but
this
is what you live with.
It woke us up in Bay Point. I'll tell you what, it was, I didn't like it.
Had a lot worse.
4 o'clock. I don't know what happened. I got up.
Were you in your closet with the helmet on?
Well, Jamie's dog's here, and Champ. So he was
Champ in the closet with the helmet on?
Champ woke up. He's from Birmingham. He was telling us what to do, where to go. Speaking of legends, where to go, what to do. Here he is, the man, the myth, the legend, state champion, Coach Jeff Patton.
Did you get your flowers from? Wait a minute. Did you get your flowers from James yet? He sent them to you.
We got him balloons. Congratulations, balloons.
and delivered on Sunday.
As soon as he came home from the game, they were there.
Still got the dirty dozen?
We still got the dirty dozen. 13 to be exact, but yeah.
How bad did it get with you last night, the storm, where you live?
It was pretty loud. It was pretty loud. And we were over there around the Sweet Bay area. But, 390 was pretty brutal this morning coming in. It was barrels everywhere.
What you think y'all play tomorrow?
Yeah, we play tomorrow.
You think the field's everything be good?
Oh, yeah, our field will be fine. Honestly, I feel like we'll probably be able to practice today.
You got Port St. Joe tomorrow?
We got Port St. Joe coming in tomorrow, yep.
Just warning you, they listen every day.
Yeah,
we got the Tiger Shark update football season now. We only do by Taco Bell on football season, and that's going to be a good one. Now it's hard to beat somebody twice.
Yeah, we got a pretty good rivalry going on between the two of us, being in the district these years, and we've played. This was the first year we didn't play in the regular season for whatever reason, but we played in that district championship game, and we've played them 2 years, twice a year for the last I don't know how many years, and we've met in the district championship games before, and we've met in the playoffs before, so we're pretty familiar with each other. I think we both know what to expect. I think it's just a matter of who plays well. If we play well defensively, we can be pretty tough.
It's hard to keep beating the same people over. It's hard to beat them twice. It is.
It is. No, it is. We're thankful we're at home.
I'll be honest with you. He might get mad at me, but the first time I whipped Glenn, it took me forever to get him across my knees.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the second time, he did a little move on me. He put me over his knee the second time. It was tough. You got me the second time.
He's slippery. He's slippery for sure.
That's what I hear.
Hey, you guys careful out there. It's a family show.
So, if you beat Port St. Joe, what's next after that?
It's the winner of that game goes to Fort Myers for the Final Four.
So it is Fort Myers.
One game away, baby.
One game away. The region final.
Would you go all the way down to play Paxton or Jay? Was that
they put the bracket up, but they will reseed. They'll reseed for the Final Four. So we'll get through this, and then depending on the rankings, they'll reseed that. And it does look like, with us being the number 1 seed, if we were to win Saturday, it does look like we'd probably play Jay or Paxton just based on who's left and where the rankings are. Now if St. Joe wins, that may change things a little bit on who plays who. They'll definitely see. So the top ranked team will play the lowest ranked team, and then the two in the middle will play.
So I want to understand. We talked about this last year.
Mm-hmm.
So you win. And then you're going to have to go to Fort Myers and play Jay or Paxton,
Most
or
likely.
almost in Alabama.
yeah. They're
A
pretty
stone's
close.
throw from Alabama.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
you get to experience that great
And
facilities.
I've asked you this before. This is just me. Just why don't for 1A, one rural, don't they play at Dick Hauser?
Yeah. I don't know.
Would that make sense?
It would, I guess. I guess they want everybody to have the same experience. Being a group that's been down there a bunch. Playing in them big stadiums. It's kind of a cool deal.
I've seen those.
And it's
They're nice.
and it can be a little different brand of baseball too. Because a lot high school baseball stadiums are a little cozier.
Right.
But those are pretty bigger than what we usually play on.
and they do a good job. We worked at one
No,
year.
Yeah, they do.
No, I understand.
It's great with the
Who won it?
hospitality and get down there.
Shipley won the state. I think we were. Or
No, they didn't win. They were
lost.
the runners up. Yeah.
The other thing too is I don't even watch the bottom bracket because I don't know how many. I'm sure it's the same amount of teams. But is there anybody out there that you know of that's pretty strong coming up from?
Yeah, we played Newberry. Newberry's really good. I don't know what they are, 22-5.
Is that the farthest south team, Newberry?
Newberry, Lafayette's down. Lafayette. Sorry,
Lafayette.
Yeah,
Say it
Lafayette. Newberry. I think Trenton's still alive. Newberry, Lafayette, Union County.
Union County's always
Us
good.
and St. Joe.
See,
and
but that's all
Paxton,
like the
Lafayette.
Gainesville area. It's just,
Yeah.
and I know
Yeah.
you can't do anything about it,
Yeah.
but it's just crazy to me as a coach for a long time
Yeah.
that they can't see. Here's who we're dealing with. Here's our clientele, but we're going to make them drive 9 hours, 8 hours.
So in 1A.
With their on their dime.
Oh, absolutely. But Glades Day and Pahokee are still 1A. They haven't made much noise. But as far as going south, those are some schools in 1A. But pretty much for the most part, Chiefland, Williston,
Right.
Newberry. That's that's
talking Gainesville.
that's about as far south as we get. Yeah.
Well, think about the weightlifting. You would think everything would be in Orlando. You got Disney World. They got all the baseball fields down. They could have everything in there.
Orlando. I didn't even think of that.
That's where everything should be.
Yeah.
But we had the state weightlifting meets up here in Panama City, and you take teams down Central Florida, South Florida. That's a long way for them.
Sure is.
It is.
Same thing with you guys going down there.
Yeah.
So
The biggest thing for me is, and it seemed to used to be that with this way, I just wish the state gave us just a couple more days just to raise money and get plans. I think I'm going to send an email to somebody when this is all over after the last couple of years, whether we win or lose, just kind of, I know that they're worried about umpires and, you've got all these games going on, all the different classifications, and they're worried about having umpires. But for us to play Tuesday, Saturday, and then turn around and have to play, whoever wins, Wednesday, Thursday, and be in Fort Pierce and make travel arrangements and hotel accommodations, it's when you're, those of us in sports, we don't like to look ahead too much. So, the parents, I think they deal with that stuff outside of me because I don't want to know about it because we haven't accomplished, we haven't gotten there. So I don't want to hear about any plans if there are plans, and I'm sure St. Joe feels the exact same way. But travel accommodations don't just happen, and so you gotta. So those are some things, and then give us a couple of days to raise some dollars, and you guys do a great job helping us with that.
So
we're going to start there.
Does the state? We got two ADs sitting here. Does the state reimburse you for that kind of travel?
We will get everybody that goes down to the Final Four will get a check back in a month based on, and from parking to admission. I don't know, maybe part of the TV revenue too. But what is there, seven classifications times 428? So I guess all 28 teams will get a check, and it's
not
generally
enough.
no, it doesn't come close to covering it. It's anywhere from the checks that we've gotten in the past have been anywhere from $2,000 to $3,000 in that range, which it does help on the back end, but. Having the upfront money, and the boosters, I think when you have programs like ours and Mosley's and Arnold that have these dreams of going, and the other schools too, but I think they do a good job. The boosters have it's not in the budget, but it's they're doing something on the side.
We were going to wait till
to
Monday to start asking for money because we were going to see what happens. I feel pretty good about it.
And whether it's us or St. Joe,
Now, let me ask you
I would
about
say help them too.
If Arnold wins this week, Do they?
No, they're one like they had to play like five games to get in 3 games they go to the final.
So one more for you and 2 more for South Walton.
Yeah, Arnold will play the winner of that South Walton Bishop Kenny game, and that should be a really good. That's a lot of fun.
Well, you can count on Glenn and I.
Absolutely.
I gave him $500 cash to send to you. Did you ever get it?
I think I got like 10%.
Yeah, he got the 50. Yeah, but
I kept asking, just give me the cash. He wouldn't fall for that.
Yeah,
Smart.
Yeah.
I knew better than that. So.
All right, when we get back, we're going to do the local stuff. Glenn's got some local stuff with us. Got Coach Patton, the head baseball coach, Bozeman High School, and we're going to need your help. I tell you who always does a great job helping out our mayor. Always does a great job.
He does.
Yes.
Man, what a great man.
We very thankful.
Yeah,
Mr. Brennick. Yeah,
he does a wonderful job helping all the schools. But we're down to 2. We're actually 3: South Walton, Arnold, and Bozeman, and that's it. And how much time we got? Oh, okay, good. I want to ask you this: LSU, national champs; Ole Miss, Mississippi State, and then even this year, Florida, when we thought they're going to be outstanding, and they're going to get in. Even with that record they've got, it seems like. But how come baseball, you see it's up and down, and you look at college football, even high school football, really, it's like more like Alabama, Georgia, Ohio State. You can count on it. Well, maybe we'll save and go, and you won't be able to count it in the future. But I think we can. In baseball, you see a dip. At Bozeman, we don't. I mean, 18 years straight, we don't see it. But why is baseball different than, say, football? I mean, I didn't think Florida had the kind of year they had this year. LSU's not having the year I thought they'd have, even though they might get in the playoffs and get hot and do it again. But what's your take on that? Why do certain schools drop off so much on the college level?
I think it's hard. I think pitching is a huge factor with that, and I think the parity in baseball is a little better. Maybe you'd be surprised that the guys. It seemed like when we were younger that there were 90-mile-an-hour guys, but it didn't seem like there was a lot of them. You kind of knew the one guy. Now it seems like there's 90-mile-an-hour guys everywhere. The JUCO level, all these JUCOs, they've got 2, 3, 4, 5 guys, and every Division I school. I mean, you could name a Division I school that you've never heard of, and they probably got 3 guys throwing 93 miles an hour. So I think that's part of it. I think the depth of it, arm injuries and things like that. I think pitchers get those tweaks. I think baseball players sometimes have injuries that maybe you can't play through. Where football, I think you maybe can have some injuries. Obviously the injuries you can't play through, but I think there's probably a little bit more of that. And football is so physical too. It's if you're bigger, stronger, faster, you have an advantage. You know, and obviously you get smart coaches and certain players are just football players and can do things outside of their size limitations. But if you're bigger and stronger, faster in football, you can just physically dominate somebody.
Let me ask you this.
Baseball, it's a little more difficult to do.
If you're the athletic director, and this is Florida for example, so. We're not having the kind of, if they don't do anything in the playoffs, because really and truly it's disappointing. But we all thought Florida would be in the top 5 in the country, and they might be when everything's said and done. But the schedule they play, I know is tough. But if you're the athletic director there and you have people can transfer in, if you needed pitchers and you didn't go get them, who's it on? Is it not the head coach?
Yeah, I mean, if we're talking about Florida, I'd just say end the whole program. I mean, that's what I would do, being an FSU guy.
Put your Florida State AD hat on.
I think you have to give Coach Sullivan a longer leash. He's proven he can do it, and there's a lot of factors. It's an inexact science. That radar gun may say 93, but not all 93s are created the same. It's if you're familiar with baseball, one guy's 93 may look way different than another guy's 93 based on movement and how it comes out of their hand and all kinds of things.
Were you surprised when Mississippi State, Ole Miss win a national championship, and the next year both of them after they won it didn't even get invited to Hoover?
Yeah, that's wild. That's wild. Ole Miss, the year they won, they almost didn't make the tournament.
That's the reason they don't count Florida out yet.
Oh, no.
Or LSU.
What about Southern Miss? When are the Golden Eagles going to step up, man? I know you met. I'm talking about winning the whole thing.
We're working on it. Yeah. We're trying to get Patton over there. Hey, there's a guy here in the Panhandle we need over there.
It's like 390. It's under construction.
All right, let's take a break. We get back. Glenn's got some local stuff. Got a special guest today, Coach Patton. Jason Kovaleski is having to go to Fort Walton and do some things this morning. Max Fitzpatrick Nutrition. What's your favorite thing you get?
I get the joint boost and then the protein. It tastes like coffee, but it sure helps a lot.
Yeah, no doubt. And you doing okay? Everything
I'm doing good.
You're
yeah.
looking good. I was worried about you. Yeah,
so
we've been praying.
I'm still glowing in the dark, but I'm all right.
You know, we talk about it all the time. We just deal with champions. If you're not a champion, you won't be in here. You got to be a champion to walk in this room. South Oak Town Closing, Chuck Tucker. What a champion. His dad was a principal at Moses, did an incredible job. He raised a wonderful son. He went out and started a company that's expanded throughout Northwest Florida. I'm talking about the elites use him. 38 Mark Coward, big-time money, multi-million-dollar homes. They all use South Oak Tile and Closing. Beth Movey, they want South Oak Tile and Closing. No surprises, done correctly the first time. Number one, Chuck Tucker, South Oak Tile and Closing. J. Michael's Restaurant, a legend here in Bacon, heck, in Northwest Florida. Heck, the Southeast, everybody knows about J. Michael's Restaurant. Best seafood, coldest beer. Today, the Chris Fish, one of Jim's favorite, grilled fish, peppers and onions. And it's got a special sauce that's outstanding. Go check it out. You'll love it. Also, don't forget about El Rodeo Tequila Bar and Grill. We did not make it yesterday at 5:30. We had planned on going.
I know.
Laura got sick.
I showed up and you weren't there.
Kids were, well, if you showed up, they were happy. If Jim and you both there, they're going to go nuts. Did you show up?
No, you didn't.
Well, there you go.
We were like the Righteous Brothers. We just kind of split there.
Jeff, I got to take you down there because you buy one, get one free.
Yeah.
I'll get the free one.
Yeah.
No, you won't.
Lunch specials. It's outstanding. Right across the street from the Navy base. El Rodeo Tequila Bar and Grill. Hey, if you had any kind of problems with the weather last night, if something got knocked around, hit, hurt, damage, Stevenson Air Conditioning, got your heating and cooling unit, if it got messed up in any way, call Stevenson Air Conditioning. They'll be there for you. And you call them anytime, day or night. They are number one. Charlie Corn's place. Charlie Corn, what a great man. Another champion here in Bay County. Glenn, you love it. The manly room in the back sits about 20 people. We have a chamber party back there. You can have a birthday party. They got daily specials every single day. Pick out whatever meat you want. 3 sides for $11.20. And then Friday night, tonight, grilled or fried fish, baked beans, cheese grits or french fries, rolling a tea. Saturday is a fried shrimp or grilled. And then the big one on Sunday, fried chicken, mashed potato, green beans, cream corn, rolling a tea right there at Charlie Corn's place. We'll be right back. Jeff Patton, Jim Barant, James, Glendale, Manley, and Wildcat himself. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. And I don't care.
ESPN Northwest Florida is celebrating our 7-year anniversary on June 26th.
Gotta be a curtain call right here.
You made us the #1 destination on the Panhandle for live and local sports talk, high school, college football, the NFL, and the Atlanta Braves.
Way on back it goes, and it's torched.
And to thank you for helping us reach this milestone, we're giving away more tickets to the Atlanta Braves this season than ever before. Keep listening for details from ESPN Northwest Florida.
Good morning. This is Joanna on ESPN Northwest Florida with your weather forecast on this Friday. Likely thunderstorms and some clouds this afternoon and evening with a gentle breeze around 11 miles per hour out of the west-southwest and temps near 80. We will have mostly clear skies tonight and be cool at 68. And sunny tomorrow and a high 79. Some clouds Sunday with a temp of 81. This forecast is sponsored by Mid-South Lumber, the best little lumberyard in Panama City. Thank you for keeping that dial on ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
Take your next adventure in an award-winning Kia from Bill Bird Kia. We invite you to stop by Bill Bird Kia today and test drive a new 2024 Kia. You'll see why everyone is talking about Kia. The 2024 Kia will give you the perfect balance of comfort, safety, and technology. The SUV family has movement that inspires. Drive away today in a new 2024 Kia Soul, Seltos, Sportage, Sorento, or Telluride. Fuel the thrill and command the road in a luxury sedan from Bill Bird Kia. Drive away today in a new 2024 Kia K5. Performance, power, and design built just for you. Discover the new Kia at Billbird Kia. Billbird Kia, the original home of the 20-year, 200,000-mile warranty. Stop by 2435 East 15th Street, Panama City, or anytime at BillbirdKiaPanamaCity.com. We'll treat you just like family and give you the peace of mind you can trust. Your local community dealer is Billbird Kia.
The 20-year, 200,000-mile warranty is a Billbird Kia warranty. See dealer for details.
The Atlanta Braves are back with a loaded roster of young talent and some new faces in the A. It's going to be another wild season.
3-1 hit high in the air to deep center field. Here it comes. Home run right over the wall.
Tonight, the Braves head out for a huge division battle on the road in New York as they take on the New York Mets at Citi Field.
Coverage starts at 6 right here on your home for the Atlanta Braves on the Gulf Coast. ESPN Northwest Florida.
It's the Coach James Hale Show.
Bonafide and qualified.
Live and local from the J. Michaels Studio.
Certified.
From the Sports Talk Monster. ESPN Northwest Florida.
Oh, yeah. There you go. Mother's Day, we don't care. Listen to this music right here.
You're going to be going to Adamson Jewelry, so it's going to be
Nothing. What a great song.
I thought that fire you.
Yeah, it's awesome, man.
As if you need to be.
Yeah, we did build the roads, the bridges, but we had to have that sandwich ready, that bacon. It's a man's world. Right, Jim Bob?
That's what you say.
Yeah, well, whatever.
Well, yeah, that number's 866. I can give you that.
All right, Glenn, what do you got for us locally? What's going on locally?
Coach Patton's kind of covered the 1A, and good luck to him. And it's kind of funny that you actually could play it at your place or Paxton or Jay instead of going all the way down there. But they're saving you money. 3A. Pensacola Catholic will play Saturday. They'll play Bishop Snyder. Don't know anything about them, but if it's got a bishop in front of it, you better be careful. And they will, if they win, then they will play on Tuesday the 14th. So they'll do that. But in 4A, Wakulla is at Arnold on Saturday. That's regional semifinal. That starts at 7:00. And if Arnold wins, they will play May the 14th. And they probably will. I don't know if they'll come out and play this part of the bracket, but the South Walton goes to Bishop Kenny, which is another private school in the mix.
That's tough.
Again, they will play the 14th if they win, so we'll go with that. And then softball, 1A yesterday, Northview 6, Freeport 2, and then I did not find a J or Holmes County score, but they will play in the regional final, which will be Tuesday. Either Holmes County or whatever will play Northview. And then Liberty County won. They beat Cottondale 9-6, and then Franklin County 6, Weewaw 5. So Holmes County will play Franklin County on the 14th, and they'll be the regional finals for them. And in 3A, I don't know where Baldwin is, but Baldwin beat Palatka 8-2, Mariana 6, North Behaven 3. So Mariana will play Baldwin. And then in 4A, Wakulla 10, Menendez 0. It was West Florida 6, Paxton School out of Jacksonville 0, Baker County over there. I think was that Glen St. Mary somewhere. They won, and so they will play. West Florida will play Wakulla, and Baker County 7, Yulee 2, and South Walton 3, Arnold 1, and so South Walton will play Baker County over there at the 14th. All these will take place on Tuesday, and so we'll see what's going on with that. And then this is semifinals for all the 3, 4, 5A schools.
Okay.
So that's what's going on.
Well, I want to give a shout out to Rick Green and the Arnold softball team. Had a great year. I think it ended maybe quicker than they thought.
Yeah.
I thought they were going to do something.
You see, that's what
they were good,
about.
though.
That's what we're talking about. Instead of that one and done stuff, you would have the sectional where you'd have 2 out of 3. They do that in Alabama.
They do it. What? Yeah. Let's ask the expert. What would you like to see?
I think 2 out of 3 is probably what would be a better option. I think you get the better team that way. It's like you have a bad night defensively and it's just done. And it can happen.
Well, it is Friday. It's Bozeman Day. We got Coach Patton with us this morning. Before we get to Bozeman, I do want to ask you about. Go ahead.
I got one announcement. There's a lot of rumors going around out there. No, I'm not going to coach anywhere. But the other thing is,
we started that one about you.
Coach Jeremy Brown is not leaving Bay High School. There's a lot of rumors out there. He was there to stay, and so is the volleyball coach, Coach Sane. So yeah, all those rumors are not true. I got it from the coach's dedication to me. He said, nope, we're not going anywhere, and he's told everybody he's not going anywhere. So I don't know where those rumors came from, but anyway.
Would somebody start those rumors hoping maybe a kid would leave and come to their school?
Yeah, no, you couldn't.
That would never happen.
No, that's
not
like
here.
One of the former football coaches used to call our kids and tell them they were coach from another school, university. It'd be better if they went to a certain school.
Yeah.
Then they go to Bay High. They get a better scholarship.
Bay County leads the country in rumors.
Yeah. Well, in the military, if you don't hit a rumor by 10 o'clock, you start your own. So, I mean, you can do that.
Somebody just texted and said congratulations, and I don't know who it is, so I apologize. Did you get it too?
No, not yet. Yeah. Holmes County won, he said. Thank you.
Okay.
Coach Oles, I tell you, he knows. He must have called that name. He's everywhere.
Awesome.
He works for Max.
He's the best.
He works for Max Preps. He watches all the games.
I want to ask you, if we get into Bozeman, I want to talk about, I know two kids that done an unbelievable job. Coop Moss, big, good-looking kid. Great kid, though. What I love about it is great character. Blair, boy, the same way. What is he, 6'6", 6'7", lefty?
Yeah.
Same thing, great character.
The only
kid.
flaw is they're going to the Gator country. They should be going over.
Well,
nobody's perfect.
That's true.
Florida needs help right now. Florida State's doing pretty well.
I tell you what, I bet it was exciting Tuesday night when it was down to the last out.
But what I was getting at, special people do special things. You can have all the talent in the world, and you're probably going to win. We had a situation in one team, we were 8-2, really good talent, but the chemistry, the character, probably not where it needed to be, which probably my fault. Then we had other teams that won 11 straight, didn't have that much talent, but the chemistry of the team, the Johnny Grays of the world, people like that, overachieved. And I look at Arnold's team is doing a great year this year, and those two kids got great character, great work ethic. And what I'm getting at, you guys must have it over there to keep winning at this high level. You got to have good character to win a championship. You can still you got to have talent to win. You cannot win without talent. I don't care what anybody tells you. You're not going to win unless you got guys that can play.
Right.
But you can lose with them, and I see that quite a bit. But you guys, talk about your play, the chemistry of this baseball team. Who are the guys that got great character on your team?
Yeah, Trey Power and Larry Street and Austin Purdy, three of our senior starters. They're just solid guys. They want to win. I think the tradition that we've had, the winning that we've done, I think it's real that each group that comes in each year, they don't want, you talk about hold the rope and all that stuff, the weakest link in a chain, and they don't want to be the group that lets the other groups down, that breaks the streak, the playoff streak and things like that. So that's palpable. We can feel that. We talk about it. The Final Four is a real goal for us. Every single year, and we don't shy away from it. So we talk about it from the beginning. I mean, it's out there with social media and people talking and shows just like this. It's people get excited about it. So we talk about it. And our guys, they're pretty hardened. We play a tough schedule. Playing the games against Mosleys and the Arnolds of the world, and going on spring break trips and having Newberry come in here and. We played Childs and Arnold in the preseason also. We do those things so that we can show our guys, look, you are as good as anybody else. Yeah. And even if that's the one thing about baseball, you don't maybe have to be as talented, whether we're as talented as these teams, we like to think we are, but you can still play with them. If you do things right and you make pitches and you have, you have some fortitude in the tough moments. You can beat people. And when we played Arnold, we split with them, and they're really, really good. But that we hung in there. The game when Cooper pitched, we just hung in there. We somehow kept it close, and then found a way to win it late. And I think that's when we play people that are as good as us or better than us. That's kind of the brand of baseball that we play. We seem to play really well in late innings, which as you guys know, the last 2 minutes of quarters or of halves, in football, we seem to play well in those moments.
Talk about the work ethic to win like that. You get to over and over for 18 years straight.
Yeah,
those kids are used to work. They don't shy away from it. It's like the standard.
They are, and I know years ago, we're a lot more talented baseball player wise, probably the last 7-8 years than maybe we were the first 7-8 years. But those guys that we had in the beginning, 19 years ago, and from 2006 to probably the 2012, 13 teams, those guys, we were Bozeman, we were small Bozeman, we didn't win at anything. And when baseball started to get going, it was almost like, we didn't want to be treated differently. We didn't want to be looked on differently than the Mosleys and the Arnolds and the Bays. And Bay and Rutherford were really good back then too. So we were fighting and clawing just to be competitive with those guys. We knew if we could be competitive with those guys, that we could win in our division. And it's just, those guys had a mentality of, we're not second class. We're not second rate to anyone. And it took time over the years. And it went from, us playing those guys close to then we start beating them occasionally. And then we start beating them a little bit more. And now we believe that we're as good as anybody. And, it kind of translates into these, runs in the playoffs.
Bozeman High School.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you, one of the things, after having been there for 2 years, the elementary kids start out knowing all the high school kids, and they follow, so they want to be part of that, and they even know who the coaches are. I walk down the hey coach, how you doing? Yeah. So that's part of the tradition.
It's a great school.
Yeah.
So I remember we did game day over there. Had Manly signs, everything. That was cool.
Fatheads.
Y'all treated us really well.
They said we're going to both kick butt like Coach Manley kicks.
They were life-size signs.
Yeah, it was unbelievable.
I like the spread y'all put out too. That was good food.
I like that Manly doll. That was pretty. You can order that from China. That's pretty cool. All right, let's talk about some of our great people. We get back, Jim Brandt, FSU. Coach Patton's going to stay with us today. We're going to talk some more baseball when we get back with him. But right now, let's talk about some great people. We talk about champions, and nobody's a bigger champion than this. Chad Mitchell, 25 years on Bay County sidelines. And you don't have to be a great athlete. Even Phil Cobb in that body is going to see him Monday at 1:30. That tells you how special Chad Mitchell is. The guy's incredible, and you can listen to him every Monday right here on ESPN Northwest Florida. This will be his 25th year coming up, taking care of Bay County athletes. Rudy's Barbecue on Bat Beach Road. I know Jeff loves that place. Glenn, you've been there. You've used them to cater. They're incredible.
They are. They're fantastic. All you got to do is tell them how many and where, and man, you don't go away hungry. I can tell you that.
It's outstanding. And they got the Lorelei Layton room in the back. Again, the superintendent, I will get the date and the organization he'll be speaking to at Rudy's Barbecue in the back room back there. So looking forward to that. We'll be right back. Jeff Patton, 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida, Glenn Manley, and the one and only Jim Brandt, 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Mornings on ESPN Northwest Florida just got unsportsmanlike.
There was such an incredible stretch of rom-coms. Where is the How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days of the world? Where's the She's All That? It feels like everything now is just a remake of something else, and it's done poorly.
Well, they did remake She's All That.
I know.
Addison Rae.
I didn't watch it. We didn't need that.
Evan, Canty, and Michelle. Weekdays 5 to 7 on ESPN Northwest Florida.
You're a real estate agent, not a social media expert, but you absolutely need a professional social media strategy. Stay on top of mind, top of feed, and be in more places. Introducing SocialStackPro.com, a tool for real estate agents that inspires your content with the power of ChatGPT built right in. Try SocialStackPro.com for free. Focus on building your brand, building relationships, and post like a pro with SocialStackPro.com.
Attention homeowners, are you dreaming of a backyard oasis? Look no further than S&R Fencing, your go-to destination for quality outdoor transformations. At S&R, they specialize in crafting custom fences, decks, retainer walls, and all exterior construction that not only enhances the beauty of your home, but also stands the test of time. Their experienced team takes pride in delivering top-notch craftsmanship with a personal touch. S&R Fencing, locally owned, licensed, and insured, and a member of the BBB.
I feel like I'm constantly cleaning hair off my bathroom floor. At least my Swiffer Sweeper makes it easy. Sweeper heavy-duty dry cloths have ultra-thick pads to trap and lock hairs, like a hair magnet. And when I'm finished cleaning up my hair, Sweeper takes care of his too. Now the hair's gone, all thanks to Swiffer. Try Swiffer Sweeper heavy-duty dry cloths. I promise you'll love them or your money back. And also try Swiffer Sweeper Wet to make quick work of tough, sticky messes.
It's the Coach James Hale Show. Live and local from the J. Michael Studio.
A lot more excitement is yet to come.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
Florida State, Florida State, Florida State. FSU Update is brought to you by J. Michaels. Get out, J. Michaels. Have a great time. 3 great locations. And this weekend, the best bands, they're here, right here in beautiful Panama City Beach at the Mothership. Go have a great time. Watch all kinds of sporting events, Newbies 2 in the Curve. John and Charlotte always giving back to the community. Let's make sure we have to support them at one of the 3 great newbies. Our great, wonderful superintendent, really like Mr. McQueen, will be speaking Monday, June 3rd at Rudy's Barbecue, Moms for Liberty Group. Moms for Liberty Group. Julie went to the first meeting. She went to the meeting last week in town, O'Charlie's, and they did a great job. I forgot who the speaker was. I think maybe Mr. Ford or Sheriff.
Yeah. Tommy Ford.
Tommy Ford. I think he was there. I'm not sure.
No, he's not the sheriff. He is the sheriff. I'm sorry. I'm thinking police.
He used to be at the beach. He's a good guy.
He is.
But anyway, this is a really good thing. Matter of fact, I think I'm going to go to that. And that's going to be at Rudy's. Have a great time at Rudy's Bar. And also, if we get Jim Bob's FSU update, I want to remind everybody out there, if you're riding around today, if you don't mind, if you could help out, stop by Bozeman High School, go in the main office and give it, I don't care if it's $5, $10, now, if you give them cash to Glenn, that's not a good thing. But if you want to give a check to Glenn,
he does take 10%. That's
right. No, Jim,
that's
50. It's Colonel Parker. It's 50% for
deliverer's fee. So
if you go by Bozeman and really give some money. And Arnold also, they got the big games going on. And here on South Walton, go by South Walton High School. I'm sure they need the help too. Yeah. But Coach, which way if they're going to bring a check in, they make it Bozeman baseball, Bozeman athletics?
Bozeman baseball is fine for anybody who wants to donate.
Okay, yeah, we need to do that. Please go by and do that. We've asked people before to do it. They've done it. I know you told us helped us a lot, paying for the bills and everything. Absolutely. So we need to do that. Okay, Jim, what do you got for us today?
All right, we're going to bounce around just a little bit. I'm going to start with the transfer portal, the ever-present transfer portal, but Florida State's going to get one from Auburn, of all places. His name's Cam Riley, a 4-year linebacker. I was looking up his stats there. In 4 years, he had 120 tackles. So this is a guy who played a lot, and kind of, look at this.
Sorry, Jim.
I want to see a receipt on that transaction right there.
Can we I'll give you the rest of the hour to do this. But what you just did warmed my heart. We asked for help. What did Wildcat do?
I did what you told me to do.
He took out some cash. I'm not talking. It wasn't $5 and gave a nice don't. That's all he gave? Ever mind. Oh, my God.
That just reflects on you because you don't pay me now.
There you go. I thought it was had another zero on that thing. No, really, I'm kidding. Now, thank you for doing that. I appreciate that, Wildcat. I'm sorry, Jim.
All right. So anyway, Cam Riley, a 4-year player at Auburn, is going to transfer to Florida State, 6'5", 242. I got to figure he's played for 4 years at Auburn. He'll play somewhere at Florida State. So
yeah, he's a good
starter. I don't have any idea, but he'll play. The big news, I'm not going to talk about baseball. I'm going to get to softball because softball's got their tournament going on. They're down to the semifinals. The games are today. In the first game, you got Duke versus Clemson, and Duke's ranked number 1 in ACC. And then in the second game, you got Florida State versus Georgia Tech. So if all goes as planned, hopefully you'll get Duke and Florida State tomorrow in the championship game about 2:30. And we talked about this the other day. It's kind of crazy to me because Mr. Moneybags over here always worried about who's televising the games. The ACC network has every game in that tournament except the championship game. That's ESPN.
Wow. Just means more. Just means more.
I just kind of laughed about that. It's like, how does that work? How does the ACC network allow that to happen?
I can't believe ESPN would even let Florida State be in that game.
Yeah, that's true.
ESPN has the contract on their TV rights.
I know.
That's why it happens.
So anyway, I'm joking about that, but I just found that humorous. Every game ACC network except the championship.
And Kirk Herbstreit's going to be the announcer for that.
That's right.
There's no chance.
I think they'll throw him out of Ireland myself.
All right, so anyway, that's softball, and baseball still got some games left to play. But I heard something this week. I was listening to stuff on my phone, and just you hear stuff on TV. This money world that we live in with sports. They're talking about one of the ideas for the future is revenue sharing. And you hear revenue sharing, that's where, you take the money that a team makes and you split it up evenly somehow. But here's my thing. And I was listening to an Ohio State thing. They said, how do you do that, though? So let's just say it was this year. Marvin Harrison, who's the number 4 pick in the NFL draft, does he get the same share as a walk-on guy who covers the kickoffs? I mean, so how would I'm just throwing this out there, and every team's got that. So at Alabama, does every guy at Alabama get the same share, the same revenue, the same way, or Florida State, or wherever? Right. So what are you guys' thoughts about that, and how viable is that? Where you get the money, now we're going to split it up, so we don't have to do all this NIL and all this other nonsense. I don't know.
That's a great question.
Every time you come up with something like this, it always has unintended consequences, and I didn't think of that,
I'll be honest, I hadn't thought about that until you said that.
That's the other thing too is how does it affect the other sports?
Yeah, exactly.
What other sports? How they going to fund them?
Well, that's what I'm saying. How does that work? I mean, because and this Title IX is going to come into play, and that's just another problem. We're going to just, let's just go ahead and throw kerosene on the fire,
Right.
So I don't personally.
Jeff, let me ask you this: if they could have legally, I don't know, they could have legally, but I don't think a freshman should be paid NIL money. They're just using it for recruiting purposes.
Good luck on that one.
Yeah.
They have not played a down. They've not been in the weight room. They've not been in the locker room. Yet you're going to give them, some of them, over $1 million.
Okay, well, let me just throw this out there. Alabama doesn't get Caleb Downs then. You don't think as a freshman he got money last year?
I don't think. No, I know he did. I'm saying, I don't know. I don't think it's right.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think it's either, but it's reality.
That would solve the recruiting, because all they're doing is buying the best players. I don't want to mention one team in the Big Ten that does it better than anybody else. But
your coach left. I'm sorry.
If you didn't pay him as a freshman, and then you can see how they develop and how they play, are they worth the money? Then you know they're worth the money or not. But it's the cat's out of the bag now. It's never going to go back and be that way. But if they
let's
go
back to revenue sharing. So let's forget about the freshman part of it. So how do you do that? How do you split that up?
I'm just getting to that. The same thing as a freshman. A freshman's going to get paid as the exact same money as a guy that's been there for 4 years. I don't care what the position is. Offensive lineman's been busting his butt. He's a first-round future draft pick. He's going to make the same revenue sharing as a freshman just got there.
Yeah, I mean, equity anymore is fair just doesn't happen. It's just not going to happen. I mean, I guess they can talk about the revenue sharing, but when it comes down to it, and I guess this is all about individual
Somebody said
rights.
it could be up to $300,000 a kid. I can't see
That's
that.
a lot of money.
I just can't see that.
$300,000. You got 100 kids on your roster in football.
You got 85 scholarships. Yeah. You got 85 scholarships.
But
now the Big Ten SEC schools, they can do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you got other kids that are on the team. Now, also, do the equipment managers, do the student managers, they
exactly trainers?
So I
didn't even think of that, but you're right. Like I said before, every time you come up with a plan like that, there's always unintended consequence. That's something I didn't think of. What about the trainers? What about the managers?
Mm-hmm.
What about? I mean, I don't know. How do you do that?
Whose fault is this that we got to where we're at? It's got to be the NCAA by waiting so long. They didn't want to share in the money. They knew it was coming. Yeah. And they just sat on it. They said it'll go away or let somebody else. Well, it's like kick it down the road like the politicians.
We talked about this. I mentioned it a while ago. This didn't start with football. This started with basketball at UCLA. I can never remember the kid's name.
O'Bannon.
But his likeness was used on the cover of some basketball game. Like a Madden game.
The video of the EA Sports.
Hey man, how come I didn't get nothing? Mm-hmm. And that was like 20 years ago, 25 years ago. And it's just kind of snowballed. And like you say, nobody did anything with it. Well, pass it on down the line, pass it on, and now here it is. And what do you do with it? I mean, personally, I'm like you. I don't see a Marvin Harrison or Tua or Jordan Travis at Florida State getting the same amount as the guy's a walk-on kicker or a walk-on guy who covers kicks. I mean,
that's another thing. Is it going to cover every player on the roster, or is it just scholarship players?
Right.
I don't know.
It's a crazy
world. All right,
world.
let's take a break. We'll come back and finish up.
Crazy world.
Talk about some of our great people. Beef Braves in Lynn Haven. I love Pat Perno, city commissioner over there. Nobody does a better job as city commissioner ever in Lynn Haven. Ever, never, ever has done. That guy's incredible.
Yes, absolutely.
He truly is. It's the same thing with this restaurant. You walk in there, they're friendly. They got a smile on their face. They treat you like family. The food's outstanding. TV's everywhere. Great atmosphere. Beef Braves, Lynn Haven. Also, I want to thank John and Charlotte again for the FSU update. Dr. Ward, thank you, sir, for everything you do. 5 minutes. Go check it. Go get checked out. If it doesn't look right, feel right, 5 minutes can save your life. And he's got offices throughout Northwest Florida. Max Fitz, Morse Nutrition, Jason Kovalesi. Glenn Manley's been there several times. You look so much better, Glenn. And you feel so much better.
I do.
Thank you, Glenn.
Enjoy it.
We'll be right back. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
ESPN Northwest Florida, the Paul Feinbaum Show.
Good afternoon to Coach Sam Pittman. Is this the first time you've been to the actual race?
When I was assistant in Tennessee in 2012, we went up there, but my seats were right by the outdoor porta potties, and this year the seats are going to be a little bit better, I think.
Paul Feinbaum, weeknights, 6 to 10 on ESPN Northwest Florida.
Good morning. This is Joanna on ESPN Northwest Florida with your weather forecast on this Friday. Likely thunderstorms and some clouds this afternoon and evening with a gentle breeze around 11 miles per hour out of the west-southwest and temps near 80. We will have mostly clear skies tonight and be cool at 68. And sunny tomorrow and a high 79. Some clouds Sunday with a temp of 81. This forecast is sponsored by Mid-South Lumber, the best little lumberyard in Panama City. Thank you for keeping that dial on ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
Looking for a special gift for that special mom this Mother's Day? That boot store has a huge selection for the modern day mama cowgirl to the baby boomer mama, all at affordable prices. Maybe a gift certificate would work. Remember, that boot store carries famous name brands that won't destroy your budget. Open Tuesday through Thursday, 9 till 5. Friday and Saturday, 9 till 5:30. Next to Bill Bird Kia, 15th Street, Panama City. That boot store where God is good all the time.
PCB Hobby, the beach's premier hobby store for sports cards, comics, coins, and trading card games. PCB Hobby carries the largest selection of boxes and packs from the latest releases of brands like Topps, Panini, Leaf, and more. Looking for a specific player or team? PCB Hobby has a wide assortment of raw and graded cards. They carry parallel rookie, game used, and autographed cards in both modern and vintage. Have a collection you want to sell? We buy, sell, and trade. PCB Hobby on Back Beach Road, just east of Florida Linen. Call 850-320-8388.
He doesn't try on clothes at the department stores. He just rips stuff off the hanger and lives with the consequences for years.
It's classy, it's intriguing.
He's sexy, sassy, and full of spunk.
Now back to the Coach James Hale Show inside the J. Michaels Studio. ESPN Northwest Florida.
And welcome back, 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. We got Jeff Patton with us. We're going to ask him this question. Of course, he's a lot younger. But back in the day, it was called amateur sports. Yeah. College athletics were amateur sports. And they made money. And people said, well, they didn't make the kind of money they make now. You go back and look what the money was worth back then. Mm-hmm. Bear Bryant was a multi-millionaire. He made huge money coaching college football. I don't know about Woody Hayes. I heard he didn't care about making money. I don't know about them. But I know all these other Barry Switzer, those guys made big-time money, just like they're making now, okay? The colleges were making big-time money off ABC. They were only 3 games a week. Bowl games were making huge amounts of money. What the hell changed? What happened? Why all of a sudden it's a professional sport? Why? Because somebody took them to court and sued and won, I guess?
Yeah.
But why didn't we do it back then? It was okay back then, but now it's not okay.
When Kurt Flood fought the free agency thing, he won that case, and so it just kind of started from there. Not saying it's his fault; he just was trying to take care of himself. And back then we had you were loyal to your team. And
what would happen? What would happen if all the presidents of the university said, we're not doing this?
They get new presidents.
We're not going to do this. We're going to play college football, basketball, baseball, and we're going to keep these sports. And if they don't want to come here and play, they don't have to. And just say the hell with it. We're not going to give scholarships. You want to come play at Alabama, play football? Come on. What would happen then?
Somebody would probably start a league for those kids to go play the good players.
And they wouldn't make a penny. Because I watch Alabama play because it's Alabama. I watch Florida State play because it's Florida State, Florida, teams in the state. I just can't believe the way things have gotten. And I don't see how it can just keep on going.
Yeah, you would think they'd run out of money. I mean, now it seems like these colleges are investing the money in the players and maybe not in the infrastructure anymore. You wonder.
That's a good point.
You wonder if, in 15, 20 years from now, if these stadiums get antiquated and, the facilities get antiquated, if there'll be the same money to fix those, where that money was probably going to facilities and infrastructure, now it's going to players. I mean, even boosters are donating to these collectives.
Instead of the schools.
Not so much that, and you just wonder in 15, 20 years what it might look like, and then where does the money come from to do that? I don't know. I'm sure they'll find some, but
the smaller schools are going to die out. The Southern Mississippis of the world, they're not going to survive. I don't see them surviving. I don't.
Yeah, and the Division I or whatever it's called now, it'll just be smaller. The super conferences, like you guys talk about it, it's eventually going to be that. It'll be 50 teams or 48 or whatever the number is. And then those other ones will just branch off and form their own.
Right. Yeah. And hopefully get good TV deals. Good luck with that. Let me ask you this. NIL money, it's legal now, I guess, in Georgia. It's legal now in Florida? And it's legal in Florida?
Pretty much.
Have you seen any of it yet?
I try not to pay a lot of attention to it. I know I probably should be a little more on top of it being an athletic director than I am. I kind of shake my head at it. I don't know if where we live, if it's a real factor, in those bigger cities. Or
there'll be certain parts of Florida.
There will be, and I think the kids that are the high-end kids, the elite kids, I'm sure there's a market for them to make money and stuff. But, I don't know how, like some of your sponsors, those businesses, if they're giving money to high school kids to promote their business, I don't know if that really makes sense here. Now, in bigger places with, kids that you've already seen on social media with a huge following and stuff like that, I guess those businesses can make money off them, and I guess those kids will be allowed to collect that money. But, I think we're still investing in programs here where we live. I think it'll get here late, as opposed to some of the bigger cities. But
yeah, like we're trying to get people to help pay for the playoff games to go by.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, if you can, go by Bozeman High School today and drop off some money for the baseball program. We appreciate it. Same thing for South Walton, same thing for Arnold. If you could do that, I know they'd really appreciate it because they don't get funded like they need to be. State makes the money, they pay out very little. That's just a fact, the way things work. And could you imagine the boosters now all of a sudden instead of giving money to the booster club to go to the football team, baseball team, basketball team, to go to individual players, you wouldn't have anything at the high school level.
You guys know this. If we didn't have booster clubs, we would struggle in this area to play high school athletics.
A long time ago, way back, when I first started coaching here, or actually right before I got here, the county used to give a certain amount of money, and there was a pretty good substantial amount to high schools and in junior highs, and then anything after that, they had to go raise it, but it was a pretty good amount. And then also they used to provide transportation for you to go to the games and stuff.
Yeah.
And didn't charge the school. So, but I guess money comes by and everything goes up, and but that was one of the things that used to happen.
I don't mind. I'm glad the players are getting something. They got it in the past. It's under the table, and I don't think it was as much as we thought. When I was at Southern Mississippi, I know one or two guys that were really good players. When you were at Akron, do you remember anybody at all getting money? Maybe your top players?
Well, the best player when I was there when I played, absolutely not. I mean, that was the mid-'70s. Heck no. When I went back as a GA, Jason Taylor was a tremendous player, but I wasn't aware of everything. I'll use a story. Now I came back. I coached high school. I came back as a GA. We're having a meeting with our linemen. I wanted to give one of our offensive linemen a soda, or a Coke. Oh, you can't do that. It's an NCAA violation. What? And people talk about the money that they get, but the rules was they couldn't have jobs. They couldn't. There's a lot of things that they could not do during it. You can't have a job during the season. You can't do this. We couldn't give them a soda at a meeting. I mean, that was an NCAA violation. So has it gone way too far the other way? Of course it has. But I don't know. I think the other thing, with NIL. They talk about how people opt out of the games. Well, you won't get the NIL money if you opt out of a game. That's a big one,
that's
too.
Coming. Yeah, I like that.
And I don't know that that's going to come around. Again, how do you enforce that? I mean, what if the kid says, well, but I've kind of had these headaches lately. Right. I think I might have a concussion. I'm feeling kind of dizzy.
That's all they got to do.
8 a.m. Are we back in Kansas now, 8 a.m.? And that's going to happen. Yeah. I'm going to keep my money if I have a concussion. I'm in concussion protocol, man. I can't play.
Well, I mean, we were talking about the bowl games, but one time we thought they were going to die out. I don't think so anymore because they're going to have to get more revenue. Every university is going to have to find ways to make money, and TV will pay for the bowl games. It doesn't matter how many's there at the stadium. They still have that
but having the games and having your best players play are two different things.
But they're not going away. I thought bowls gone. No.
Yeah, we'll see.
And if what I've read, if they don't play, they don't get that NIL money. So I don't know they're going to pay them at the very end.
What if they have a concussion? What if they have a concussion?
Oh, yeah, I'm with you.
That'll happen.
I pulled a hamstring. My hamstring's hurt. Yeah.
My
calf, something's
bit
wrong.
me, man. Something bit me.
Yeah.
Yeah, the coaches that allow that to happen, this coach will be a little more lenient. You want to play in that bowl game, so we'll go there.
Yeah.
That'll be a thing.
I don't know. It's just crazy. Everything is completely
insane.
I don't mind the NIL. I don't mind the NIL. I think they should pay him something anyway. I wish they'd come up with a number and go, this is what you get as a freshman. This is what you get as a sophomore year and your junior year. And every year should go up every year.
Yeah.
And
I would agree with that.
I don't think NIL, we should come together and say, look, we're going to fight this in court, which I don't think they can win. If they can't win it, then I say don't even worry about it. But I wish they would not pay the incoming freshmen. All they're doing is buying players to come in there. We all know that. And then go from there. But what thing that drives me nuts is the transfer deal. Whatever. I just remember growing up, and they would tell you, if you tell somebody you're going to do something, you do it. If you commit and say you're going to this team, that's where you're going to go. We never thought about leaving. We never thought about quitting. Even though we weren't starting, you stayed there. You knew your role. The team. That's back in the 70s. That's all. I don't know how they did you guys up there. In the South, that's all you heard.
Right.
And you'd go to the school because you wanted to go play for that coach. Everybody wanted to go play for Barry Bryant, where I grew up, or Auburn. And if you didn't get to go there, then it's who wanted you, and you go there.
Here's the other thing, too. We've all coached in here. Let's just use Ohio State, because that's one I'm most familiar with. The guys that transfer out there
can't play
at Ohio State.
Right.
And I think their parents, their mentors, their advisors sell them on, well, you can go Ohio State, you're going to get to the league, and they're going to give you NIL money in the process. So the kid buys that, goes there, finds out, man, I got Orlando Pace in front of me. I ain't never going to play. I'm never going to see the field. I'm behind Marvin Harrison. I'm never going to play. And after 2 years of doing that, they find out that maybe I bit off more than I can chew here, and why can't I go to Southern Miss or Akron or wherever?
See, my dad would.
That's my part.
My dad would go, you ain't going anywhere. You go work harder. Mm-hmm. You go beat him out. I don't want to hear he's better than you. You go beat him out. Yeah. That's what we used to hear.
And we did too, but I'm just saying, the parents are part of this too, because they buy into all that hype crap. Hey, my son's a 4-star. He's a 5-star. He's going to Ohio State. He's going to Alabama.
Just look at our society.
And then the reality comes and they can't do it.
We're so weak in every area of our lives compared to what we used to be. We give in, we give up, we quit, we go somewhere else. There's no commitment. Look at the divorces we have in the country now. It's just the whole society's kind of falling apart. I think we go to war with China. I might transfer out. I might go.
Yeah. You'll be in the closet.
I'll be in some island where nobody knows. Yeah. Anyway, let's have a happy, positive Friday. I'm jumping on the negative end.
The other thing too is some of these kids have been told all their life, you're good, you're okay, you're great, and you get the participation trophy.
Yeah, so you got a room full of them.
Yeah, that's part of it too.
Plastic rings and medals and trophies.
Oh yeah, have you seen them hold up the rings now?
Yep. Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, it goes back to the family structure used to be better way back in the 50s and 60s, and now you get everything going on. It's just crazy. It's just nuts. All right, let's talk about some of our great people that are not crazy. They're outstanding. Turf Pro Pest Control. I saw Pat yesterday. He looks really good. Get out to Turf Pro. They'll do a great job. That yard look absolutely beautiful. Wildcat, if we're going to go and we want to do something special for our mother this weekend, where were we going to go? And they got something for us tonight.
Absolutely the best time to go see David Adamson Fine Jewelry and Design on Highway 77 there in Lynn Haven. Why? Because 1, they have an estate sale. 2, they're opening up the safes and putting everything else on sale. And 3, because at 5 o'clock they're having a customer appreciation party. So there's going to be free food and drinks and special sales going on everything. David Adamson Fine Jewelry and Design.
Well, I want to tell you something, Wildcat. Jeff's got a big hatteris. And Coach Patton said, come on, we'll take you out.
Yeah.
Johnny Reynolds, Omar, there's a bunch of us. And I said, you guys, what happens when we get out there and the boat quits? What if we get attacked by a shark or something? What are we going to do?
You know what to do. And
well, he didn't have them. And I said, I'm not going. I didn't go, did I? Remember, I got off the boat. I got right off the boat, took my cooler, my food,
and your little floaties.
Got my floaties.
Got on the dinghy.
Yeah.
You know,
got a SpongeBob.
But you know what Jeff did after that? Who did he go see?
He went and got himself a year-long membership for Cito.
Cito, baby.
Jason Kowaleski said it best when he said, don't be a Gilligan. Get on Cito. Get yourself they have different memberships at different prices for what you want. And all you got to do is go to Cito.com or call Brandon at 850-234-2323. That is Cito right here in Panama City and Port St. Joe.
Just remember, never get on a boat. I always ask that question, are you with Cito? If they say no, you say no. We'll be right back. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
America's team plays here.
Swing and a miss. Struck him out. That's number 10.
The Atlanta Braves on ESPN Northwest Florida. Charlie Morton, Max Fried, and Chris Sale lead the Braves' dominant pitching rotation.
That's 18 up, 18 down.
Sponsored by Panama City Toyota, LS Agency Insurance, Bestway Portable Buildings, PCB Hobby, and ESPN Northwest Florida.
Got him swinging, strike 3.
Good morning. This is Joanna on ESPN Northwest Florida with your weather forecast on this Friday. Likely thunderstorms and some clouds this afternoon and evening with a gentle breeze around 11 miles per hour out of the west-southwest and temps near 80. We will have mostly clear skies tonight and be cool at 68. And sunny tomorrow and a high 79. Some clouds Sunday with a temp of 81. This forecast is sponsored by Mid-South Lumber, the best little lumberyard in Panama City. Thank you for keeping that dial on ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
Your safety and proper care of your boat in an emergency is crucial. When it comes to on-water assistance, response time is everything. And since 1996, in the Bay or on the Gulf, it's Cito. Cito's Coast Guard licensed captains are on the scene in an average of 1 hour or less. Cito gets members home or back to boating faster. Become a member today at Cito.com or call 850-234-2323.
WGSX Lynn Haven, WVOQ Port St. Joe. Powered by Panama City Toyota.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
A Gain Scent Bead story. Jim was at the laundromat when he heard his ear said Maraca, senor, but his nose said, hey, freshest scent ever. Following his nose, Jim found a man pouring a bottle of Gain Scent Beads into the washer. The scent, the freshness. Jim blurted, Sir, your scent maracas smell amazing. Actually, Jim, most noses call them Gain scent beads. Try Gain scent beads. Way fresher than detergent alone.
It's the Coach James Hale Show.
He's the sexiest man on the planet.
Live and local from the J. Michaels Studio. The Sports Talk Must. ESPN Northwest Florida.
Time. Whoa. Good job, Wildcat. Alabama Update is brought to you by Stevenson Air Conditioning. Anytime, day or night, they're there for you. Throughout Northwest Florida, call Stevenson Air Conditioning. They will be there and they'll take care of you. They do a great job. I tell you what, after the storms last night, they will be getting some calls because they had some. I was scared.
There's power outages and power surges really wreak havoc on anything electronic.
Yeah.
Just like it did to this stuff in here this morning. And does the same thing to air conditioners, too.
Absolutely. And you did a great job, by the way, just getting here from way out in the boondocks. That was amazing.
Yeah, I did. I played a little bit of Dodgems.
Yeah, you know where he lives? He's out past Kelsey's Creek. I mean, he's way out there.
By Kelsey's Woods?
He's even past that. I mean, he's
I
way
live
out
way out yonder.
Yeah. Did a good job.
Country.
We're speaking. We have got the man, the myth, Jeff Spiegel. The 1983, he started covering athletics, college athletics, in the great state of Alabama. He's been on ESPN. He's been on the SEC Network. A legend here in the Southeastern.
He's been on the James Hale show.
He's been on this show. He told me after being on the show, he feel like now he can go. He can take that
retire.
next step. He can
Take us to the house.
He can start that stairway to heaven. I mean, he's done it all now.
He'd be so sick.
We got him. Jeff, how you doing this morning?
Doing great, Coach. How are you?
How bad the weather getting Birmingham, Hoover up that way?
It was rough. Even last night, while you're trying to get some sleep, there was a thunder boomer coming through, but a lot of rain. Goodness, a lot of rain. We had some flooding in Hoover and no tornadoes, but just a lot of rain and just a lot of lightning. It was really something to see.
Yeah, it was. It woke us up this morning. Probably, I got about 4, and I don't know what time it hit here. But I tell you what, you tell James Spann that you guys have taught us a lot of great things down here, and I have shared this information on the radio. And Jim, I tell you, get a helmet on, put your tennis shoes on, get in your safe place, and it makes sense. I never thought of that before because if there's stuff flying around and you protect your head, you might have.
All right, let me ask a question. He knows Jamie. Does Jamie have a helmet
at her house?
Yeah.
No.
Jamie needs a helmet.
That's Jamie. I mean,
I'm aware.
That sounds like something her dad needs to take care of.
Hey, everything. Well, I'll tell you off the air about that. Anyway, but no, really, I tell you what, y'all went through some of the worst I've ever seen. I'll never forget. We were down at Disney for senior night. The senior trip, we had to sponsor that or chaperone it, whatever. We did it for years when we were here. And I'll never forget getting up one morning and they were showing that tornado hitting Tuscaloosa and all those tornadoes around Birmingham. How many people were killed in Alabama that day? There were a lot.
Yeah, it was unbelievable. I can't remember the exact amount, but it was in the hundreds, and it's something that James Spann really took that day personally. He feels like and we always tell him, look, you did the very best you could, but when there's a significant loss of life in a weather event like that, he always thinks about what could we have done differently, not as a station, but as a weather forecasting enterprise as a whole. And so and then they made some improvements since 2011. I'm not a meteorologist, so I can't speak specifically to what those improvements are. But that's a day we'll never forget, and what James really just he really took that one. He took that one really hard.
Let me ask you this: did you know? I know it hit Tuscaloosa. It was heading towards Birmingham. Of course, Birmingham's something anyway. Did you guys know it was coming? Were you aware of everything? Do you remember that? Were you working that day?
Oh yeah, absolutely. It was one of my off days, and our son and future daughter-in-law were living in Tuscaloosa at the time, And we had heard the weather was going to be rough, 3, 4, 5 days in advance. I mean, James had been talking about that for a while, that it was going to be a, historical, significant, weather event. And so, we're at home watching this big tornado bearing down on Tuscaloosa, and my wife Julie is on the phone with our son Jay, and they're all huddled up in a bathroom, and then the phone just cuts off.
Wow!
And then we don't know what happened. Of course, you fear the worst at that point. Yeah, we saw that it had hit close by, like 15th Street, which is just, Julie, a couple of blocks from where they live, 3 or 4 blocks.
Wow.
And so, luckily, a minute and a half, 2 minutes later, Jay got through to us on a cell phone and just said it was really bad over there. Of course, we were just, relieved, that they were okay, but there were several deaths in Tuscaloosa and all over the state, as you mentioned.
Yeah, I'll never forget that day. That was terrible, man. Hey, I want to ask you, speaking of Birmingham, Hugh Freeze, I saw the interview Jamie had with him. Thought that was pretty good. I watched, they had on video this morning, I saw it, and I had never seen it until then. They showed Saban, Hugh Freeze, Coach DeBoer, and Kirby. They all were teeing off. And I'd be honest with you, I was shocked how good all 4 of them were. They can play golf. They stroked that sucker. Hugh Freeze did a good job. Kirby did really well hitting the ball. I didn't know that those guys were that. 3 of them were really good golfers. I'm not sure about DeBoer. But his one hit I saw was pretty good. But the other 3 can really play the game.
Yeah, the A player in that group, I think, would probably be Freeze. The B player in that group, I think, would be Nick, because Nick's had some time to work on his golf game now that he's been in retirement. The C player, a really good C player, would be Kirby, I think.
Yeah.
But there's no question the D player would be DeBoer. Yeah. He's just been. First of all, I don't know how seriously he takes the game. I don't know how good he wants to be, but I do know this: he doesn't want to be that good.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't want the fans to think he's spending too much time on the golf course, right?
Right.
And by looking at his game, Wednesday, it looks like he hasn't spent too much time on the golf course, which I think fans prefer.
Yeah, yeah. But I'll be honest with you, I've watched enough golf on TV to see that Hugh Freeze knows what he's doing. Nick definitely knows what he's doing. And I was shocked. I didn't think Kirby was that good. He's good. Kirby's he's a good golfer. I was like, dang, man, they're pretty good.
Yeah, Hugh had played the day before at Shoal Creek with some of the other, or a couple of the other pros. I think he mentioned Tom Lehman. I think he mentioned him, and so Hugh kind of got a head start on everybody in terms of getting around the golf end. But yeah, Hugh's eating up with it. I mean, he loves that golf, man.
Yeah, and they were talking about, too, Urban Meyer, and I can't remember the other guy who was playing with him. They won some big tournament in Atlanta. I think it was Atlanta.
Yeah, it was. It was the Peach Bowl, that Peach Bowl event they have there every year.
Who was with Urban? Who was his partner?
He was
Norvell.
Norvell.
Yeah.
That's who it was, yeah.
No, he was paired with the Freeze was paired with the former NC State coach.
Okay.
And Boston College coach. I think O'Brien is his name, Tom O'Brien.
Yeah.
And, but Norvell's team won it.
Yeah, that's what he was with Urban.
Third.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, right.
Have you ever been over there and watched that?
No, I haven't. Looks like a beautiful golf course. It looks like they give the coaches a really good time, but I've never been over there.
Okay. Well, what's going on recruiting at Alabama? Didn't they just pick up a big offensive lineman or DB or something?
They did. They picked up a quarterback, Deshaun Jones, a transfer from Wake Forest, who's pretty physical player. They've been they lost some quarterbacks in the portal. Woodyard transferred to Oregon. Tony Mitchell, got out of there, transferred. So they're kind of thin at corner, and they need to bolster that position. A lot of inexperience at safety too, and I think if you would, they got Malachi Moore coming back, but if you look at that the defensive back position there, that's probably one of those areas that would be a concern for Alabama. They do have Damani Jackson coming in, he's a great player, and transfer from USC. But I think that's probably one of those areas where you look at it. And if you're on the back end, you need to be solid on the back end in this day and time in college football for sure.
Jeff, we got to take a break. Can we hold you over a minute?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, good. Jeff Spiegel's with us this morning. Jim Brandt and Coach Patton had to get back to school. Again, if you can help out anyway, drop by the school, drop off a little bit of money. I know he made some here this morning. They needed to get ready to go to the state championship game. And I got time to talk a little bit more? Okay, let's talk to some of our great people. Again, just mention that big thing's going over in Lynn Haven, the big
yeah, coming up at 5 o'clock this afternoon. So after you get off of work and make your way through town, head on over to David Adamson Fine Jewelry Design, 830 Ohio Avenue or Highway 77. At 5 o'clock, they're having a customer appreciation thing. And not only are they going to have free food and free drinks, but I might sneak over there and spike the punch.
There you go.
So that's
get it rocking and rolling there.
Rocking and rolling. But they've already got an estate sale going on. But because Mother's Day is just around the corner, for all you procrastinators, you can stop by there. They're going to open up the safe. And they're going to put everything on sale.
Big sale.
So a lot of reasons to go check them out. David Adamson Fine Jewelry, 830 Ohio Avenue in Lynn Haven.
And all you great people in South Walton, go by the high school, help them out. They're also getting ready to compete for the state level, state championship. Let's make sure we go help them out also all throughout the Panhandle. South Walton right now, Bozeman, and Arnold right here, 3 right here and just close by. We'll be right back, Jeff. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
It's the PCB Hobby Takeover with Todd. Mondays at 5:20 on ESPN Northwest Florida.
That is a very high-end card and very rare.
Todd talks about coins, trading cards, collectibles, and the amazing stories behind them.
It was the first one that's ever come through my door.
Plus, we'll be taking your calls and questions at 850-215-6290. The PCB Hobby Takeover.
A platform for you to do your hobby.
Mondays at 5:20 on the Sports Talk Monster. ESPN Northwest Florida.
Good morning. This is Joanna on ESPN Northwest Florida with your weather forecast on this Friday. Likely thunderstorms and some clouds this afternoon and evening with a gentle breeze around 11 miles per hour out of the west-southwest and temps near 80. We will have mostly clear skies tonight and be cool at 68. And sunny tomorrow and a high 79. Some clouds Sunday with a temp of 81. This forecast is sponsored by Mid-South Lumber, the best little lumber yard in Panama City. Thank you for keeping that dial on ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
Mid-South Lumber, where they treat you like family. Locally owned and serving the residents of Bay County for over 45 years. See Mid-South Lumber for all of your DIY projects, including windows, doors, siding, lumber, and millwork. Are you building a new home? Bring your contractor in to Mid-South Lumber and meet with a member of their sales team to discuss your framing, siding, windows, and doors. Mid-South Lumber, the biggest little lumber yard in Panama City. 717 West 11th Street.
Los Rancheros has been doing it right for 20 years. Los Rancheros brings a top-shelf dining experience to you with the opening of their beautiful new building. Watch all college and pro games on Los Rancheros' 14 large-screen TVs with great drink specials daily from 2 to 5 and during all the games. Los Rancheros, the place for live sports and great food on 23rd Street between Jenks and Harrison.
He has a really low passenger rating on Uber. He punched a magician and started a petition to remove the penny from circulation.
I'd like to punch him in the face, I'll tell you.
Now back to the Coach James Hale Show inside the J. Michaels studio.
Is he sane? I have no idea.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
Hey, Martha Kinney, James Gualma, and Jenna, and a lot more in Northwest Florida. Love the Auburn Tigers, and you should. Great program, great job, great people. Beef Braised Lynn Haven, you over there today. Go out there and have a great meal. Have a great time. Appreciate them sponsoring the Auburn Update. Great folks over in Lynn Haven. Let's bring on Jeff back in the building. We're going to hit on Bama and Auburn. We're talking about Hugh Freeze golf game. Jeff, Auburn, over, under. They had an article, the best. They did the over, under, and they had a guy write, this is the best Auburn can possibly do. And they have the ceiling for Auburn 8.5. So I guess that I used to round it up to the highest number. I remember somebody teacher telling me that. So I'll say 9.
That's trying to save his F from a D from an F, or that's what.
Yeah, something like that. But their over Auburn average is 7 wins, and this guy saying the top is 8.5. So, what say you, Jeff? If they've done a great job bringing in transfer players. They've done a really good job. They're one of the winners. They had an article about that. Who's doing a good job? Who's not? They brought in good ball players. They got Penn State wide receiver. They've recruited great receivers. He's still behind his quarterback. He talked about that with Jamie. What do you think? Can Auburn pull off a 9-win season with that schedule?
Well, I think I saw CBSSports.com, I think, had them 12th out of the 14 teams in terms of just their faith in them and what they can do. Power rankings is what it was, and I tell you what it is. It all comes down to this. I mean, there are people who just don't have faith in the quarterback position when it comes to Auburn. It's one of those, I got to see it to believe it. And we had 1 year of Peyton Thorne, and quite honestly, it wasn't that impressive. And another thing too that people are skeptical, when it comes to Auburn, is the offensive line. You got quarterback issues, you had O-line issues. They couldn't protect them against New Mexico State. So, I mean, that's one of those lasting images that people will have of the Auburn program, and that carries over into 2024. And as much as you want to, put 2023 in the rearview mirror, I mean, when people start talking about how good this Auburn football team can be, yeah, they look at all the additions and all that, but they can't get those images out of their mind of last year about how Thorne struggled and how the offensive line struggled to protect him.
Well, what happens? Do you think they can win 8, 9, or would you go 7 if you're a betting man?
If I was a betting man, I wouldn't go any higher than 8. and I think, if they get 8, I think that's a pretty good year, because the schedule is pretty brutal. Yeah. I mean, the first of all, you're in the SEC, and then you just it's a rebuilding job, because let's be honest, Brian Harsin didn't do anything while he was there. He didn't recruit. He barely coached. And so Freeze had kind of a mess to clean up. And as much faith as he has, in his quarterback, I think it's because he just really doesn't have another option but to have faith in his quarterback. So Thorne's got to take a big step up, when it comes to 2024. And so does that offensive line. But listen, they got some weapons at wide receiver. Holy smokes. I mean, with Coleman and then Thompson, the freshman, and then Lambert Smith, if they can give Thorne enough time to find those guys, and Thorne can elevate his game this year, then they'll probably be able to score some points for sure.
All right, let's jump on Bama. They have them in this particular one, 9.5. That's the average across the board. The best this guy said Bama could possibly do would be 11-1. They don't, and that one loss they had them to Georgia. But I want to even look at it a little bit differently. If it goes the wrong way, if he loses to Georgia, matter of fact, the game you better win, and everybody's forgetting about it, is Wisconsin. I remember going to South Florida, Tampa last year, and we were lucky to win that football game. That's South Florida. Wisconsin's it's going to be a huge game for them. It's going to be electric. Game day might be there. I don't think so, but they might be. Bama can't walk in there and not play their best ball game. They better be ready to play. If they lose that game, he's going to be in trouble with the rest of the schedule down the way. Georgia, I think, is a must-win for him because if you beat Georgia, I think you win over the fan base. That's just me. That's just me talking. Just an opinion. If you lose to Georgia, you lose to Wisconsin, and you screw up and lose to one of the other three, at Alabama, you better beat Tennessee, you better beat Auburn, and you better beat LSU. So he needs to make sure they win the Wisconsin game. And if he can some way beat Georgia, which is going to be, I think, very difficult, if they could beat them. And who's in the secondary? What are they going to do about the DBs?
Yeah. Well, that as we mentioned a while ago, that's kind of the area that I'm looking at. And, Coach, they got to go to Tennessee.
Yeah.
They got to go to LSU. Listen, I'll just say right now, what day is it, May 9th?
Yeah.
They're not going to beat Georgia. They're not going to beat Georgia. No, not even at home. I think Georgia's just so dang good that that's one of those that you can you can write off right now, in my opinion. But you're right. I think the Wisconsin game, is big. Going on the road and winning up there. But you mentioned the South Florida game, and I know all you guys remember this. But the quarterback situation was a mess in the South Florida game. And all Nick Saban was trying to do was survive that game. I mean, he knew how difficult that game was going to be. And there was kind of a growing up period for Jalen Milroe. Now, Jalen Milroe's grown up. Milroe's the man. So they're solid at quarterback now. So I think they go up to Wisconsin and they win that game. I'm not saying the Georgia game is impossible to win, but I'm saying there's a 10% chance, they win that game. But you're right. They need to go to Tennessee. They need to go to LSU and win those games. I mean, my thinking is they can go 11-1 and be a playoff team, but the schedule is difficult, and it's going to be it's going to be a very, very interesting year. But you're right. If they lose a game, they're supposed to win, then that's when things are going to be difficult for a first-year coach at any program, but especially at Alabama.
Yeah. We'll see how it plays out. But I want to ask you this. I'm really worried about the secondary. I don't know I don't think we're good. We got good play, got great young players, but we're talking about, Georgia's quarterback's outstanding. LSU's got a really good offense, or have been. Tennessee's got a chance to be really good on offense. I'm worried about the DBs. And what about who's the big rush stud this year? Will Anderson's been gone for 2 years. Dallas Turner's now gone. I mean, who's there? I think the inside linebackers were going to be pretty good. Defensive line, I'm not sure how good they're going to be, who's going to dominate up front. And the edge guys, I got big question marks there. Who's going to step up there? And the DBs are young and talented, but still, I'm kind of worried about the defense overall.
Yeah, sure. Well, Keenan is certainly a guy that, that everybody is, certainly, real high on. I mean, Lawson coming back is big. Deontay Lawson coming back is big. He's going to be a big leader on that football team. So, some of it's just going to be, by committee. This is how every football season goes. That as a coach is that, first game or two, you're kind of feeling your way through, trying to find out what your team is. And it's a long football season. And the quicker a team can find that identity and be, find out who they are, and then get everybody on the same page. And the quickest team that can do that, and in the past several years, I mean, that's been Georgia. We're going to look back at the 2023 season that Nick Saban had in his farewell season, and we're going to be able to appreciate that season more and more as the years go by.
Yeah.
Because that was an incredible coaching job, in my opinion. It was a great way for him to go out, to win an SEC championship. I know people were disappointed, in the loss to Michigan, but those cats went on to win the national championship. But that was a heck of a coaching job by Nick Saban last year.
I agree with that. Hey, and real quick with Auburn, I think a key game for them is Oklahoma. They got Oklahoma at home, and Oklahoma Auburn are kind of the same. Oklahoma coming into the SEC, which is a lot tougher in the league. They're leaving. They got a lot of new good players. They got a lot of guys that came in, but that's a team that beat Texas, and then the rest of the year wasn't that great. So that's a huge game. Whoever wins that game is going to have a lot better year, I think. If Auburn beats Oklahoma, I think Auburn could win 9 if they beat Oklahoma.
Yeah, that's one of those you look on the schedule and you kind of go, oh, I know they've. There's just so many unknowns, when it comes to Oklahoma. You know what you're going to get with Texas, right? I mean, Texas is going to be really, really, really good, but Oklahoma's kind of an unknown right now, and so it's going to be a fun year, though. I'm glad these two teams are in the league, and now we look forward to what's going to happen 5 years from now when we have like 20 teams in the league, and it's and it really gets crazy.
Okay. Hey, listen, we got to go. I hope you have a great weekend, and tell your wife Happy Mother's Day.
And tell Julie Happy Mother's Day, and, just appreciate you guys, and have a great weekend.
All right, buddy. Thank you so much. Yeah, appreciate you, sir. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Look at that stadium. You got hit pretty good. Yeah. Tell everybody about that.
Well, if you're looking at pictures of Dick Howser Stadium, and the right field, looks like the right field wall is down. But they already have somebody out there.
I knew they had a tornado warning near the
Wow.
We still got a severe thunderstorm watch until 10 o'clock.
Here?
There's another line coming from north to south right now.
Yeah, we just got this picture here from
heads up about that.
Tallahassee. Wow. That had to be pretty dang strong to do that. Yeah. Good Lord. All right, let's talk about some of our great people. J. Michael's Restaurant, the best seafood, coldest beer today, crisp fish, grilled fish, peppers, onions over a bed of rice. It's outstanding. It's got a special sauce. Go check it out. But if you want some fried shrimp, there's none better than J. Michael's. I'm telling you right now. Legendary J. Michael's Restaurant on Thomas Drive in beautiful Panama City Beach. South Oak Title and Closing for all your real estate closing. Make sure you don't make any mistakes. Go with somebody else. Go with Chuck Tucker. Go with South Oak Title and Closing. Stevenson Air Conditioning, I want to thank them for the Alabama update. And we want to thank Beef O'Brady's and Lindhaven for the Auburn update. We want to thank Chad Mitchell for all he's done for Bay County athletes. You get any kind of injury, go see Chad. El Rodeo Tequila Bar and Grill right here on Thomas Drive, right across the street from Navy Base. Buy one, get one free. The best Mexican restaurant out there. You will love it. And we'll be right back. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
America's team plays here.
And a rocket to right field. This thing is into orbit.
The Atlanta Braves on ESPN Northwest Florida. Acuna, Ozzie, and Austin Riley lead the Braves' high-powered offense.
Swung on, belted, deep right field. Get out of here, Ozzie. Home run. Ball game.
The Atlanta Braves on ESPN Northwest Florida is sponsored by Brock's Pest Control. Store more portable buildings, reliable hydraulic solutions. Pillsbury Kia and Mid-South Lumber.
Hey there, business owners. Do you feel lost in a sea of numbers, struggling to navigate your day-to-day accounting? At Lighthouse CPAs, they specialize in guiding businesses to make more money and keep more of what you make. From bookkeeping to tax planning, they've got you covered. Plus, with their user-friendly software, managing your finances has never been easier. Spend less time on paperwork and more time growing your business. Call Lighthouse CPAs 850-785-5254.
With over 65 years of combined experience, Instant Replay Sports Cards is happy to help you take your collection to the next level. They carry all the new hobby boxes, signed memorabilia, and supplies. New and vintage cards and Pokemon. They sell and trade cards and are always looking to buy. They're an authorized source for Topps, Panini, Upper Deck, and Leaf cards. Instant Replay Sports Cards is open 7 days a week at 752 West 23rd Street, down from Academy Sports. It can always be reached at InstantReplaySportsCards.com.
It's time for a new kitchen from Kitchen Designs. Kitchen Designs in Panama City Beach and Santa Rosa Beach offers full-service cabinets, countertops, and flooring, plus cash and carry cabinets available the very next day. Kitchen Designs has been family-owned and operated for over 20 years. Visit their showroom at 7934 Front Beach Road and on Lynn Drive in Santa Rosa Beach. Or call Kitchen Designs, 850-775-4150.
He's a beacon of light to many and an inspiration to all.
These men need inspiration.
Now back to the Coach James Hale Show inside the J. Michaels studio.
They're motivated by Vicodin and road skank.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
And welcome back, 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. I was looking at these statistics here, and it's incredible. When ranked number one team in the country, some teams have not done very well, but these three kind of stand out. Georgia, every time they've been ranked number one in the country, and it's not just Kirby. This is when Vince Dooley was there, and I think Mark Richt got the number one at one time for a short period of time. But Georgia has ranked the number one team in the country, 38 wins and only 4 losses. Ohio State Buckeyes, when ranked number one in the country, 75 wins, 12 losses. Alabama, when ranked number one in the country, 107 and 15. Those three, percentage and everything else, are the best there is out there when ranked number one team in the country. I mean, other ones are like, even some of them have been ranked high like that and didn't do very well. Texas was not that bad. When ranked number one, they were 30 wins, 7 losses, and 3 ties. This is over the history of the game. Pretty cool. Florida State is ranked number one in the latest ACC power rankings that came out by CBS Sports. Number 2 was Clemson. Miami, number 3. Are you guys buying that those
We're talking
three?
football here, correct?
Yeah. Are y'all buying that?
The first 2, but not Miami in 3.
They get a lot of love this year.
They do, and they brought in a lot of players, but they don't. He doesn't develop them. You know what I'm saying? Their potential doesn't come out. I don't know what's going on. And then when you can't take a knee to run the game out, that's
That was hard for me to understand. A guy who's been at the level that he's at,
right.
That was just a no-brainer.
It is.
Just kneel down.
Yeah.
What? Why is that hard? Why?
I'm with y'all.
That was mystifying to me.
You know, he made a lot of money coming to Miami. I think he has to do something this year. He's got to have a good year this year.
I do too.
Now, the ACC 5 easiest schedules, non-conference, okay? Coming at number 5, I think we went over this before, Miami. Florida, week 1, that's going to be a tough game for them. If they can win that, they probably might have a good year. But the rest of them are real. Ball State, South Florida give them a game. Yeah. And Florida A&M. They should win 3 of those 4 for sure. Pitt, pretty easy. Their toughest is Cincinnati, Youngstown State, West Virginia. West Virginia's not going to be an easy game for them. And Kent State. North Carolina, Mac Brown. At Minnesota is probably his toughest game. Charlotte, North Central, somebody, James Madison. So their non-conference is pretty easy.
James Madison's been in that playoff for quite a few years in a row.
Right.
So
Syracuse,
their coach left though.
Yeah.
Syracuse is really easy. UConn, Holy Cross, UNLV, and Ohio. Duke had the easiest. They also came up with the hardest one too. And if I find it, I'll go with. If not, I won't. There's something else I wanted to go over. And I don't want you guys to remember too, it's Mother's Day. Make sure you take care of the mothers out there. Oh, here's real quick. I think I hit this yesterday, but I'm going to go to it again in case I didn't. 6 teams that won the college transfers post-spring thing, because remember they could transfer in April.
Right.
So here you go. Auburn, the biggest one, the Penn State receiver. Colorado, Dion added 40 new players. Woo. He lost 50, and he brought in 40. Right. Miami, another was one of the winners. They brought in a pretty good quarterback, I think from Washington State. It's a pretty good quarterback.
Yeah.
Oklahoma had 4 offensive linemen they broke in. They did really well. The top one and Oregon's on the list. They're top one. Every positive lift out there, Oregon's on it. Oregon got Woodard from Alabama, the DB, but it's really good, 5-star. And Central Florida. Did you know that? I didn't realize they got Arkansas's quarterback Jefferson. I didn't know they got him. Mm-mm. Did you know that?
Nope.
I did not know that. All right, the question, that's what I was going to ask you guys. And think about it before you answer, Glenn. You've been covering the SEC for a long time. Grew up in this part of the world. Who's more ready for the SEC, Texas or Oklahoma? Both of them have coached in the SEC. Well, Clemson and Stark has coached, offensive coordinator at Alabama. He knows the SEC. They both recruit at a high level. One believes in offense. The other one's a defensive guy. Oklahoma's got a defensive head coach. Texas has an offensive head coach. And you go look at the defensive-minded guys and what they've done. Kirby Smart, national champs. Nick Saban, multiple national champs. Dabo was an offensive guy, though. What do you think? Who do you think of those two teams are more ready to come into the SEC?
I think Texas, because here lately, Oklahoma, even though when they say they have improved their defense, it's still got some holes in it, even though he's a defensive guy. Maybe he went out and got some people he really needed, but I just think Texas is more ready. Their defense has been a lot more reliable here lately.
Yeah, and remember, you never can count on Texas to do what they should do. I remember one year they were pretty good. Last year before last, they lost to Oklahoma. They lose to Oklahoma last year?
Yeah.
Last year, okay?
Yes.
They win the league. They go play. They make the playoffs. They're playing Washington. They lose to them. DeBoer beat the other two coaches. Alabama won it first.
Right.
He beat both of them.
Right.
Won twice.
I just still think that Texas, has been more ready. I think he knows what it takes.
The league.
Yeah, to be in the league.
Yeah, him being an offense coordinator, I think is a big advantage.
Right.
Jim, what do you think? I know most people say Texas, but what do you think?
I would say, I would say Texas also. They have a lot of talent. Well, so does Oklahoma, but I just think that, like Glenn says, I think they're a little bit more ready for the big stage than Oklahoma is. Oklahoma's still kind of feeling their way a little bit. We'll see.
All right.
I think they're both going to do well, though. I really do.
Yeah, I do too. All right, I want to go over this real quick. This is, I hit on it during the Alabama-Auburn update. This is from the experts. This guy, he looked at roster production returning, which you can't do that anymore. Hell, they might leave during the summer. You just don't know.
Yeah.
It's all guesswork. But he really did. He dove in, did a lot of things, and he came up with this, and he's pretty good, and Vegas listens to him. We talked about Alabama. The over-under is about 9.5. He said the very best Bama could do would be 11-1. He had them losing to Georgia. Arkansas, their over and under 6. He said the best, if they had a great year, is 7.5. And that's probably saying winning a bowl game, you get 8 wins. I don't see it. I don't see them winning 8 games at Arkansas.
Personally, I think Sam Pittman's going to get fired.
I'm with you.
I mean, he's a good guy, good coach, but
yeah, I'm with you. I think you're right.
I don't see 8 wins out of them either.
It's tough.
Dead man walking.
Yeah.
Dead man walking. All right, this one, and I like him. I think he's a great guy. Florida. He says they're over under. It doesn't even matter. He said the best they can do, the very best, and this is probably with a bowl game, 7.5. The old ball coach said Florida's going to win 8 games this year.
To me, that's tough for them for the schedule they have. But he better win those first 3 early. He better win those.
He better win the first. Yeah.
Yeah.
Jim, do you think they get to 7, 8 wins?
I've disagreed with this Bill Ball coach. It's hard to go against him, but Steve, I'm sorry, I don't see it. I don't see 8 wins. Personally, I think he'll get whacked too. I just do.
Yeah.
You know how impatient Florida's fans are. Go to a game
if he wins 8, they're gonna.
Right.
Yeah.
And again, it's kind of like everybody. Who did you lose to, and how did you play in those losses?
Where's the FSU game at this year?
FSU at FSU.
Tallahassee.
Yeah, it is.
It's in Tallahassee.
He's not going to beat Georgia, and you lose your 2 biggest rivals. I don't know. I hope we're wrong.
He's got Miami too.
Yeah, I hope we're wrong. I'm not going to say it's impossible because this is his 3rd year. He might surprise us. He might do it. I don't know. Georgia, they said 12-0. I don't think so. I don't think Georgia, as good as they are, they don't go undefeated. Jim, you don't go to Texas, you don't go to Ole Miss, and you don't go to Alabama and win every game, and then play the rest of your games. Do you think they win all of them?
Probably not. Like I said before, and I'm going to keep saying it. I think it really needs to sink into the consciousness of
Because
sports.
you're right. Because people don't understand. It's changed.
It's changed. People, there's 12 teams going to make the playoffs. You don't have to be undefeated. You got a loss. You got 2 losses. It doesn't matter.
And all schedules are tough.
Yeah, and I'm going to keep saying this. I cannot see any poll, any committee not picking Alabama, Georgia, Ohio. If they're not going to be, so what you're saying is they're not going to be in the top 12. When's the last time any one of those big time programs we're talking about wasn't in the top 12? Come on now, people.
Yeah,
that's never going to happen.
Yeah,
That's just me.
Yeah, and going undefeated in this, what's happening now with the conference, it's going to be tough. But again, I'm like Jim. That's hard to see, not seeing those people in there. So
yeah,
they got Kentucky. The very best they can do, 8-4.
Probably.
Yeah, I can go with that. LSU. All right, how much time we got? Can I do this one? All right, LSU. I want to point something out. They have blown it with defensive linemen. They got some good ones, but with talent that's played a lot, more than 50 snaps. There's one guy that's played 50 snaps. I wanted to go with this, and we'll probably do it Monday or Tuesday when you get back in here, if I can think of it. He made some comments about, we're not going to buy players at LSU. He said it right after the day at the big defensive lineman. They put everything in to get, and he goes to Oklahoma. Of course, he feels like they outbid him and they bought him, and they didn't. Well, whose fault's that? You got NIL money like Oklahoma? Yeah, you are buying play. Anyway, they kind of hit him on that, what he said. He was pissed off.
I was very surprised that
you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah. What did you think?
Like I said, I was just surprised because I'm not trying to be ugly or anything, but hey, Brian, everybody buys players, okay? Right. You do too. Yeah. You may call it something else, but it is what it is.
You got the number one receiver. You were buying players.
Yeah, come on.
LSU.
Well,
we're just going to develop them.
Dabo's going to be on the hot seat because
zero.
Yeah, he's done the same thing.
Yeah.
All right, let's take a break real quick. We'll come back and finish up for today. We hope you guys have a great weekend. Get out to Newby's, have a great time this weekend. They're going to have some great bands down there. Newby's doing the Curve. Go watch all these sporting events. And again, if you're not feeling too well, go down to Max Fit Sports Nutrition. Get you some vitamins. Talk to Jason. I guarantee they'll help you out. Beef O'Brady's, Lynn Haven. You got to get out there and have a great meal. Same thing. Charlie Corn's place. Go check it out. We think you'll love it. Dr. Ward, skin cancer, 1 in 5 develop it. Make sure you go get it checked out. 5 minutes can save your life, and he's got offices throughout Northwest Florida. Paparazzi Gourmet Deli, pizza nights, usually Friday night. You make sure you don't make a mistake. Make sure you go to Paparazzi Gourmet Deli. While you're down there, check out the bar. Check out the bakery. It's unbelievable. Deli, everything. 4 restaurants are running now. Paparazzi Gourmet Deli on Thomas Drive. We'll be right back with Wildcat, with Glenn, with Jim. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Your safety and proper care of your boat in an emergency is crucial. When it comes to on-water assistance, response time is everything. And since 1996, in the Bay or on the Gulf, it's Seatow. Seatow's Coast Guard licensed captains are on the scene in an average of 1 hour or less. Seatow gets members home or back to boating faster. Become a member today at Seatow.com or call 850-234-2323.
ESPN Northwest Florida, available on all your devices.
Connected.
Hear your favorite sports talk hosts.
On the Coach James Hale Show. You're listening to Inside Drive Live.
The afternoon underdog.
And your favorite teams.
Braves win it!
We're live on the app. Tune in, Alexa, ESPNPC.com, Facebook, YouTube, and in your car at 101.9 and 104.3. Wherever you go, there we are. ESPN Northwest Florida.
Good morning. This is Joanna on ESPN Northwest Florida with your weather forecast on this Friday. Likely thunderstorms and some clouds this afternoon and evening with a gentle breeze around 11 miles per hour out of the west-southwest and temps near 80. We will have mostly clear skies tonight and be cool at 68. And sunny tomorrow and a high 79. Some clouds Sunday with a temp of 81. This forecast is sponsored by Mid-South Lumber, the best little lumberyard in Panama City. Thank you for keeping that dial on ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
Here at Tracy's Fine Jewelry, we want to help you celebrate Mom this month. From mother's rings with her children's birthstones to unique one-of-a-kind pieces just like her. This month is meant to celebrate Mom. From our large selection of beautiful stackable bands to simple, elegant diamond necklaces that will bring a sparkle to her eye. This Mother's Day, show Mom how much you love her with a beautiful piece of jewelry that's as unique as she is. From Tracy's Fine Jewelry.
Are you looking for a place to take a leak? Do you have a truck, tractor, or other hydraulic equipment leaking or not performing as it should? At Reliable Hydraulic Solutions, we can get you back to work. Do you have a busted or leaking hose? Hydraulic cylinder or pump needing repair? If competitive pricing and a quick turnaround are what matter to your business, come see us at Reliable Hydraulic Solutions. Or you can give us a call at 850-326-3000. Reliable Hydraulic Solutions, 6840 Highway 77 in Southport. The best place in town to take a leak.
If your neighbor, employer, or grandmother were traumatized by comments made on the Coach James Hale Show.
One thing people aren't saying a whole lot about, and I probably get in trouble,
but just wanted to take this moment to say, get bent. We're live from the J. Michael Studio, ESPN Northwest Florida.
Do it, baby. That's a good one. Eagles, nothing better. What's the name of this one?
Victim of Love.
Victim of Love.
I'd rather just listen to that if y'all don't mind for the next 15 minutes.
Rather than listen
Can we leave then? Can we go?
I think we can all come to agreement on that.
That was good. I love the Eagles, man. All right, Mother, you know what? We're going to do something different. We're all going to we're going to share with you guys today. It's Mother's Weekend this Sunday, right? I want to go back, and I want to thank you. I want to thank Jim, Scott Shepard, Coach Bowear, Coach Bush, Coach Bill Thomas. When my mama passed away, they were there. And I think about her every day. Every single day I think about my mother. Miss her. And you think back the things you did wrong. You know, if I could go back and change, and because I don't think I treated her the best I could have, and it bothered me. When she was dying of cancer, she smoked her whole life, and she was a diabetic, and I think she lived about 83, 82, which is good. It was good. But I never forget, we took Jamie to Montgomery to see her. We met with hospice, and she was freaking out. She didn't want to meet with him. She didn't want him to come. And brother goes talk to her. So I went back in the bedroom and said, Mom, you might not ever need him. This is just something in case we need him in the future. Says, who knows what's going to happen? Let's just at least talk with him, meet with him. So we met with the hospice people, and I look over, my brother had a tear coming down, Jamie's crying, and we're trying to put on a positive look and, be positive and everything. And I'll never forget, I told her, I said, look, I got to take Jamie to Harrisburg. That was after that. So I got to take Jamie to Harrisburg. I'll just come back. I'll just come back, and I'll be here tonight. And she goes, well, whatever, I said, no, I'll do it. Go to Harrisburg, get on the phone, didn't go back to Montgomery, went back to Arnold because something was going on there, which really should have not even mattered. It didn't go back to see her the next day she died. And I felt bad my whole life because I told her I was going to come see her, and I didn't. I got to live with that. But I had a great mother, and my wife is a great mother. I told Jamie yesterday we were walking around, I said, you remember what all your mama did for you and Jared? You always dressed nice, you always hair combed, you're clean, you were fed, you were loved on.
Your mama did a pretty good job with you.
Yeah.
She did all right.
She had her hands full, let me tell you that.
No doubt. No doubt.
Julie, and Jim knows this, Julie went through cancer and lost all of her hair, got sick, going through all that crap. And I remember her, bad as she felt, she'd get up and read to those kids, love on them, be with them and everything. When she was sick as a dog, throw up. And sometimes just here by herself. And then Courtney, thank God for Courtney, she'd come over and watch him and stuff like that. Jim was there, he saw all that stuff that she went through. And anyway, so I've had a great mother that I should have treated better. And I had a great wife that's a great mother to my kids, so I appreciate them. And I think of my mother every day. You had a great mother.
Oh, yeah, my goodness, yes. You don't, in my case, we had 5 kids in our family. And until 1969, when we moved, we lived in a house that had maybe 1,000 square feet. It was a little house. Wasn't in the projects or anything, but it's just the way it was. And we finally moved into a bigger house. And the stuff that my mother did, now that I'm a parent and have my own kids, and I look back to all she did, morning, noon, and night, was cook, clean, fold clothes, put the clothes away, and pick up. I mean, that's all she did. She was a saint. Oh my God, she was a saint. Never complained. That was her job. Was her husband, my dad, and her kids. That was her job, and she was awesome at it. Oh my gosh, she was the best. She was the best by far. She was the best.
Yeah, my mother was actually a nurse. She was the chief nurse on the oncology ward at Baptist Hospital for I don't know how many years. And when we got grown, she took care of us and took care of my dad, all that good stuff too, like my mom's do. And then when we were grown and older, for Christmas, she would take the Christmas shift so some of those younger nurses could be with their family or the Thanksgiving and that sort of thing. So, we would have either early Christmas or early Thanksgiving because we were growing up a little bit.
Yeah.
But, she took care of I remember her driving me to Little League baseball practice. And so my mom played basketball in high school. She was one of the top scorers and around the up. And
wow.
She played at Beauregard High School, and that's when you could only dribble at one time. And
you couldn't cross half court?
Yeah, it was 3-on-3, and she said, she told me one time, she said, "Oh, Ruby," that was her name. "Oh, Ruby can thump the rock." I was like, "Wow." She said, I passed science one time because I scored 28 points or something. I don't know, But she had like 3 sisters on the team with her.
Yeah.
But I got in the car one time. I think I was 8 or 9 years old, and I didn't have good practice. And I came in and I kind of threw my glove down, and I sat in the back seat. She goes, "Let me tell you this. I'm not dragging your butt all over Nashville for you to practice like that. You either get better or you're going to be walking over here." So I done got no sympathy for me feeling bad. This is the way athletes do it.
Did she live a long time?
Yeah, she lived to be about 82,
Good,
I think so.
good.
But yeah, then my dad, I never knew my dad when I was in high school. I never knew my dad played football at Auburn. He played till the war.
Wow.
And, he was a long snapper. And I was out there one day practicing. He goes, "Hey, let me snap you one." I was going, So he zipped that baby back there, and I was like, "Holy smoke!" Then my mom said, "Yeah, get out I think it's still called the Glamorama in Auburn."
Yeah.
She said, "Open that out." He was on the freshman team. So
that's crazy.
Yeah.
Jim, you better mention your wife is a good mother.
Oh my
She's done a lot of great things.
Yeah. Oh my God. She's a human dynamo, man.
Yep.
I joked, when we met at Cape Coral High School, she was the shop teacher. That's when we still had shop.
Yep.
And she always joked, "Yeah, the reason you married me so you didn't have to hang curtains anymore because I do it."
That's right. That's right.
Yeah, there's a lot of truth in that. Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, she can fix anything, can make anything,
She
can cook
raised
anything.
a bunch of kids. Too.
And just...
Yeah.
She's a mama hen all the way.
That's right. Yeah, my wife she's a great husband because she can tile, she can do woodwork, she does great. And she also does this thing.
Wildcat, how's your mom? How was she?
She's still alive. She's still kicking, and she was a great mother. She took care of us 3. She had some health issues. She lives in Kentucky. Still up there, and she always bailed me out of jail. got me out of trouble.
Let me ask y'all something. We only got about 30 seconds, but Mother's Day, I don't remember ever doing anything. I don't think I ever did anything for my mom. That's how sorry I was. I'm sitting there thinking, I don't think I did anything. Did you?
Probably not very much. I don't know. I'm kind of the same way.
We all got together and cleaned up the house and cleaned up stuff in the yard.
Did y'all?
Because we didn't have any money, so we just did stuff.
We were kind of coerced into it. My dad would say, so he would mention it a couple of days in advance. You want to make sure Mother's Day's coming up. So.
Well, I certainly hope Jared and Jamie do something for their mother because she deserves it. That they think back, she does. Hey, we hope you all the women out there have a great Mother's Day, and we hope you guys have a great weekend. Hey, real quick before we get off, we got some bad weather coming in?
Just a line of thunderstorms.
Okay, and also happy anniversary, Ryan, Movi, and Beth.
Yeah,
right?
11 years.
Yeah. We're out. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Your attention, please. ESPN Northwest Florida reminds you it's the law. It's the law. When there's a double red flag, stay out of the water, stick your toes in the sand, grab a cold drink, and listen to live sports.
Swung on, missed, strike